Hey everybody, welcome back. Stephen here from Northwest Small Batch Brewing. It is time for Single Malt Sunday. So last Sunday, I shared a Ardbeg 10 with you. Definitely one of my favorite whiskeys. So it would be unfair not to share a Laphroaig 10 with you. So Laphroaig is, I'd like to say it's the sister of Ardbeg in a sense. They both come from Islay in Scotland. They're both 10-year-old aged whiskeys. The Laphroaig here is at 43% ABV. They finished this in ex-bourbon barrels. And interestingly enough, Laphroaig finishes most of their whiskeys in Maker's Mark barrels. And Maker's Mark is known for making this sort of bourbon that's sort of maraschino cherry forward bourbon. And it's interesting. Each bottle comes with a little card where you can sign up to become part of this Laphroaig society, and you can actually claim a square foot of land on their property. And then they put a little flag up with your name or something, and you can go visit your little, 1 square foot of land that you own on Islay. So let me pour this. This is definitely one of my favorite whiskeys, and I just get into other things so much that I end up forgetting a little bit about some whiskeys and remembering, oh yeah, this was a really good whiskey. Why don't I drink it more? So Laphroaig here is the best-selling Islay malt. I said Islay, right? So on the island of Islay, there are quite a few distilleries on that island. This is the best-selling whiskey there. You just can't. You can't not know that this is a Laphroaig when you smell it. It is. Now, a lot of people who've never had this will find these nose and palate and flavor notes questionable, meaning like, why would you want to drink something that tastes like that? But it works. I can't explain it, but it works. So this is a peated whiskey, which means that they use peat, which is basically decayed material from the ground that forms these bricks that they cut, and that's what they use for fuel, and they burn. Instead of using wood, they use these peat blocks. And for sure, peat smoke is way different than any other kind of smoke. When it comes to whiskey, it's the only kind of smoked whiskey that I like. I don't like hard smoked whiskey, like hickory and stuff. It just has a weird flavor to me. Sometimes it gets cheesy, and it's just not nice in my opinion. But somehow peated smoke really is perfect for whiskey. So just like the Ardbeg, it is very smoky, but this one is so smoky. First of all, I get a lot of salt. All right, you can smell the salt flavor, like the sea salt, but also iodine. Like medicinal is the best word to put. It smells medicinal. Iodine, salt, and here's the crazy thing. Once you taste it, okay. Oh, gosh, that's good. It's so good. Two weird things about Laphroaig. First of all, and this is going to sound gross, but you get Band-Aid. Now, that is something that today's youth don't really understand because they don't make Band-Aids the way they used to. But the plastic, whatever that Band-Aids used to be made of, Band-Aids had this certain smell when you open them. And they don't really have that anymore. But for those of us of a certain age, you'll know what I'm talking about. It definitely has that smell or whatever of Band-Aid. Which seems gross, but it is so good. It's so good. The other weird thing about it is it's sweet. So you don't expect that, but there's definitely a sweetness to it. It goes down smooth with that sweetness. I think helps with that. It's not harsh really on the throat when it goes down. Like the alcohol is very smooth. And the smoke, obviously, it just, it lingers on your upper palate. Like you can just stick your tongue to the top of your mouth and just, it lingers. It's like this meaty sort of briny smoke that is just fantastic. Hey, I hope you enjoyed sharing a dram with me. And if you haven't tried this, I think it's a reasonable price for a Scotch still, and definitely worth it. It's definitely a quintessential Islay Scotch. If you're drinking Scotch and you're into smoky stuff, this one is like, it's one of those have to tries. So go get you some, and I'll be back in another week for another whiskey. And until then, Sláinte.